They told you the formula was simple. Go to school, get into debt, get a degree, find a safe job with benefits, work 40 hours a week for 40 years, put your money in a 401k and pray the market doesn't crash before you're 65. They call this the American dream. But look around you. Look at the people who followed this script perfectly. Are they free? Or are they drowning in credit card debt, terrified of a recession, and one medical bill away from bankruptcy? Here is the brutal reality the system hides from you. The game is rigged against the employee. If hard work was the variable for wealth, the construction worker in the scorching heat and the single mother working 2 shifts at the diner would be the wealthiest people in America. But they aren't. In fact, they are the ones suffering the most. Why? Because they are playing a game with linear rules in an exponential world. The wealthy don't get rich by working harder. They get rich because they understand the mechanics of the machine. They don't sell their time, they exploit leverage. They don't save money, they accumulate assets. Today, we are going to dismantle the lies you've been fed about money. We aren't talking about drop shipping, crypto scams, or manifesting abundance. We are going to talk about the cold, hard economic laws that govern wealth. This is the asymmetric advantage. This is how you stop being a cog in the machine and start owning the machine. I'm Ryan. I've been studying the psychology of money for 2.5 years now. I'm not here to give you some quick get-rich scheme, but I promise you, if you don't get massive value from this video, feel free to call me out and roast me in the comments.
Point number 1. The time trap. The game you cannot win.
They told you a lie. It is a lie so big and repeated so often that you believe it is the truth. The lie is this: if you want to be rich, you must work harder. Think about that for a second. If hard work was the secret to wealth, who would be the richest people in America? It would be the construction workers breaking their backs in the summer heat. It would be the nurses working double shifts at the hospital. It would be the single mom working 2 jobs just to put food on the table. But look around you. Are those people rich? No. They are tired, they are stressed, and they are usually broke. Meanwhile, look at the billionaires. Look at the investors. Do they sweat as much as the construction worker? No. Do they work more hours than the nurse? Impossible. There are only 24 hours in a day. Yet, they make more money in 1 hour than most people make in a whole lifetime. Why? Is life just unfair? No, it is math. You are poor because you are playing a game called trading time for money. And in this game, the rules are set up so you lose. Let's look at the math. You have something valuable, your time. You have something you need, money. So you make a deal. You tell a boss, I will give you my time and you give me money. We call this a job. It sounds fair, right? Wrong. It is a trap. Here is why. Your time is limited. You only have 24 hours in a day. You have to sleep. You have to eat. Let's say you are a superhero and you work 16 hours a day every single day. You still have a limit. You hit a ceiling. You cannot work 25 hours. This means your income has a speed limit. No matter how hard you run, you can only go so fast. If you stop running, the money stops. If you get sick, the money stops. If you want to go on vacation, the money stops. You are not a free human being. You are a battery. You are being used to power someone else's machine. But wait, it gets worse. Let's talk about the silent killer that eats your wealth: taxes. In America, the system treats employees and owners very differently. If you have a job, here is what happens. You earn money, the government takes a big slice immediately, taxes, you get to spend what's left. You are taxed first. You try to live on the leftovers. By the time the money hits your bank account, 20 or 30% is already gone. Now look at the rich person, the business owner. Their rules are different. They earn money, they spend money on their business, their car, their trips, expenses. Then the government taxes what is left. Do you see the difference? The employee pays the government first. The owner pays themselves first. This is why you can work for 40 years and still have nothing saved. The bucket has a hole in it. And there is one more enemy in this trap. It is called inflation. Maybe you are smart. Maybe you save your money. You put $100 under your mattress or in a bank account. You think, I am safe. But you are not safe. Every year, the price of bread goes up. The price of gas goes up. The price of a house goes up. Your $100 bill stays the same, but it buys less stuff. It's like trying to fill a bathtub while the drain is open. You're running on a treadmill just to stay in the same place. So let's be honest. This path they told you to follow, the school, the degree, the safe job, it's not a path to wealth. It's a path to safety. It's designed to keep you just comfortable enough so you don't quit, but just poor enough so you can never leave. You are renting out your life 1 hour at a time. And as long as you are renting out your time, you will never, ever be rich. You will just be a well-paid servant. To get rich, you have to break this rule. You have to switch sides. You have to stop being the one who works and start being the one who owns. You need to find a way to make money while you are sleeping. You need to make money while you are playing with your kids. You need to make money while you are on vacation. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. This is the brutal truth. So, how do we escape? How do we stop trading time for money? We need a tool, a weapon. The rich use a special weapon to break the cage. It is called leverage. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it.
Part 2. The secret weapon. The power of the lever. Imagine you are playing a video game. You are at level 1. You have a small wooden sword. You find the monster. You hit it. Clink! It takes you 1 hour of clicking just to kill one small monster. You get 5 gold coins. You think, if I want 100 gold coins, I have to click for 20 hours. Most people live their whole lives like this. They are level 1 players using a wooden sword. They think the only way to get more gold is to click faster. But then you see a level 50 player. He walks into the room, he doesn't click 1,000 times. He presses one button. A giant lightning bolt hits every monster in the room. In 1 second, he has 10,000 gold coins. Is he working harder than you? No, he's just using a better tool. In the real world, that tool is called leverage. Leverage is the cheat code for wealth. It is the only way a person can do one thing and get 1,000 results. Without leverage, you are just a person with a shovel. With leverage, you are the person driving the bulldozer. Machiavelli understood this. He knew that a king is just one man. A king has 2 arms and 2 legs, just like a peasant. So why is the king powerful? Because he has an army. The army is his lever. When the king whispers one word, 10,000 men move. That is leverage. In America today, you don't need an army to be a king. You just need to use the 4 magic levers. The first lever, other people's time. Think about the owner of a big grocery store. Does he scan the milk? Does he clean the floors? No. He hires 50 people to do that. Every hour those 50 people work, the owner gets a little bit of money from each of them. While he is sitting in his office, he is effectively working 50 hours every hour. He has multiplied his life. This is why you must stop saying, I can do it myself, and start asking, who can do this for me? The second lever, other people's money. This is what the banks and the big investors do. Imagine you want to buy a house that costs $100,000. You could save your money for 20 years. That is the slow way. Or you can use a lever. You go to a bank, you give them $5,000, and they give you the other $95,000. Now you own a $100,000 house, but you only used a tiny bit of your own money. If the house price goes up, you get all the profit. You used the bank's money to lift a weight you couldn't lift alone. The third lever, code and software. This is the newest and most powerful lever in history. A kid in his bedroom can write a computer program. He writes it once. It takes him maybe a week. But once the code is finished, 1 million people can use it. The code doesn't get tired. The code doesn't ask for a raise. The code works while the kid is at the beach. Think about Mark Zuckerberg or the people who made TikTok. They built a digital army of code that works for them every second of every day. The fourth lever, media and content. This is what I am doing right now. I am talking to you. But I'm not just talking to you, I am talking to thousands of people at the same time. I recorded this video once, but it can be watched forever. Each view is like a tiny worker for me, spreading my message while I sleep. In the old days, you needed a TV station to do this. Now, you just need a phone. Here is the secret the rich don't want you to know. You are either the one using the lever or you are the one being used as a lever. When you go to your 9 to 5 job, you are the other people's time lever for your boss. You are the tool he is using to get rich. He is the level 50 player pressing the button, and you are doing the clicking for him. If you want to be free, you must stop being the tool and start owning the tool. You don't need to be the smartest person. You don't need to be the luckiest. You just need to find the way to make your work scale. Scale just means that if you do the work once, it keeps working for you. The writer scales through books. The builder scales through apartments. The coder scales through apps. The YouTuber scales through videos. But the worker, the waiter, the driver, they don't scale. When their shift ends, their money ends. Machiavelli said, "The man who is used by others will always be a servant." So look at your life right now. What are your levers? If you don't have any, you are still in the cage. But don't worry. In the next part, I'm going to show you how to pick your first lever, even if you have $0 in your pocket. Part 3. The smart gamble. Winning without losing everything. Let's talk about a word that scares most people. Risk. In school, they taught you that risk is bad. They said, don't take chances. Don't fail. Stay on the safe path. So you try to play it safe. You keep your money in a savings account. You stay in the same job for 10 years. You don't try anything new. But here is the Machiavellian truth. Playing it safe is the riskiest thing you can do. In a world that is moving fast, if you stand still, you are actually falling behind. It's like being on an escalator that is going down. If you don't climb, you end up at the bottom. The rich are not gamblers in the way you think. They don't just throw their money at the casino and hope for luck. Instead, they use a secret math trick called asymmetric risk. Asymmetric is a big word, but the meaning is very simple. It just means lopsided. It means a deal where the bad side is tiny, but the good side is giant. Imagine I offer you a game. We flip a coin. If it lands on tails, you lose $10. If it lands on heads, you win $10,000. Would you play that game? Of course you would. Even if you lose the first 10 times, you only lose $100. But the moment you win one time, you are rich. This is how the wealthy think. They look for heads I win big, tails I only lose a little. Most people do the opposite. They take symmetric risks. They work 60 hours a week to maybe get a 3% raise. If it works, they gain a tiny bit of money. If they get fired, they lose everything. That is a bad deal. To get rich fast in America, you must start looking for asymmetric bets. You need to find things that cost you very little to try, but can pay you 1,000,000 times back. Example 1, the content bet. Think about a teenager who starts a YouTube channel. What is the risk? He loses some time. Maybe his friends laugh at him. That is the tail side. It is a tiny loss. What is the upside? One of his videos goes viral. He builds an audience. He gets brand deals. He makes millions. That is the head side. It is a giant win. This is a perfect asymmetric bet. Example 2, the side business bet. Imagine you spend your Saturday mornings building a small app or a simple website that sells a product. The risk? You lost your Saturday. You spent $50 on a website. The upside? It becomes a real business. It makes $5,000 a month while you sleep. Again, the loss is capped, only 1 day and $50. But the gain is uncapped. It could grow forever. Example 3, the networking bet. You send a polite email to a very rich person asking for one piece of advice. The risk? They don't reply. You lost 2 minutes of your time. The upside? They reply. They become your mentor. They give you a deal that makes you a millionaire. Low risk, high reward. Machiavelli said, "Fortune is a woman, and if you wish to keep her under, it is necessary to beat and ill-use her." What he meant was, luck doesn't come to people who sit and wait. Luck comes to the people who are aggressive. But you don't have to be reckless. You just have to be a volume player. If you take 100 small bets where you can only lose $10 but can win $1,000, you only need to be right once out of 100 times to be a winner. The average person is so afraid of losing that $10 that they never even try. They wait until they are 100% sure. But in the real world, nothing is 100% sure. By the time you are sure, the opportunity is gone. The rich move when they are 60% sure. They know that if they fail, the tail side won't kill them. They'll just get up and try again tomorrow. But if they win so big that they never have to work again. Stop trying to avoid all mistakes. Mistakes are just the entry fee for the big win. If you aren't failing at small things, it means you aren't trying big things enough. So here is your homework. Look at your life. Where can you place a small bet today? Can you write a post? Can you call a client? Can you learn a new skill? Find a way to toss the coin as many times as possible. Eventually, it will land on heads, and that one win will change your life. But once you start winning, everyone will want a piece of your gold. You will have enemies. You will have people trying to pull you back down to the hamster wheel. In the next part, I'm going to show you how the rich protect their power and stay at the top.
Part 4. Own the machine. Why you must be the master. There is a big difference between rich and wealthy. A professional athlete might be rich. He has a $10 million salary. But if he breaks his leg and can't play, the money stops. He is still just a very expensive worker. A wealthy person is the guy who owns the team. He doesn't need to play. He doesn't even need to be in the stadium. He owns the brand, the seats, and the TV rights. In America, there are two types of people: those who own the machine and those who are the machine. If you have a job, you are a part of the machine. You are a gear. If the gear breaks, the owner simply buys a new gear. He replaces you. This is why you feel stressed. Deep down, you know you are replaceable. But the owner? The owner is the one who holds the title. He has the equity. Equity is a fancy word that just means a piece of the pie. Think about it like this. Imagine you and your friends decide to bake a giant pizza. One friend brings the flour. One friend brings the cheese. You are the one who spends 5 hours cooking it in the hot kitchen. When the pizza is done, the friends say, "Thanks for cooking. Here is one small slice for your hard work." Then they take the rest of the pizza and sell it for $100. They didn't do the cooking, but they owned the oven and the ingredients. They got the profit. You only got a wage. Machiavelli said, "The man who works for another is always a servant." If you want to be free, you must stop working for a slice and start owning the pizza shop. Why is ownership so powerful? Because of something called residual value. When you are an employee, you do a task, you get paid, and the transaction is over. You start at zero the next morning. But when you own something, like a business, a house, or a stock, that thing grows in value while you sleep. Look at the richest people in the world: Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett. They didn't get billions of dollars from a salary. No company could ever afford to pay a salary that big. They got rich because they owned shares in a company. As the company became more valuable, their piece of the pie became worth billions. But you might say, "I don't have a billion-dollar company." That doesn't matter. You can start small. Ownership starts the moment you stop spending your money on stuff and start spending it on assets. Most people get their paycheck and immediately buy things that lose value. They buy a new iPhone. They lease a fancy car. They buy expensive clothes. Machiavelli would laugh at this. He would call this the illusion of power. You look powerful, but you are actually becoming a slave to the people you owe money to. The rich person does the opposite. They live in a small house. They drive an old car. They take every extra dollar and they buy assets. They buy a small piece of a big company. Stocks. They buy a small house and rent it to someone else. Real estate. They spend their time building their own brand or business. Equity. Every time you buy an asset, you are buying a tiny money robot. At first, you only have 1 or 2 robots. They only make you a few cents. It feels slow. But if you keep going, eventually you have 1,000 robots. Suddenly, those robots are making enough money to pay for your rent, then your car, then your whole life. That is the moment you become the master. Ownership also protects you from the government. We talked about taxes in part 1, remember? Employees get taxed the most, but owners get tax breaks. The government wants people to build businesses and buy houses, so they give owners special rules to keep more of their money. The system is literally designed to reward the owner and punish the worker. So how do you start? You have to change your identity. Stop saying, "I am a worker," and start saying, "I am an investor." Every hour of your day is a seed. You can either eat the seed, spend your time on Netflix,
Or you can plant the seed. Spend your time building something you own. If you plant enough seeds, one day you will have a forest. And a man who owns a forest never has to worry about the price of wood. But there is one final secret. Even with ownership and leverage, there is a reason most people still fail. It's because they don't understand how to finish the game. In the final part, I'm going to show you how to turn your wealth into a legacy so you stay powerful forever.
Getting rich is hard, but staying rich, that is a different game entirely. Have you ever heard of lottery winners who win $50 million and are broke 2 years later? Or the pro athlete who made $100 million but ends up selling his trophies for food? This happens because they had rich man's money but a poor man's mind. They thought the game was about spending. They thought the goal was to show off. But the true masters, the ones Machiavelli studied, knew that the goal isn't just to be rich. The goal is to be immortal. In the world of power, there is a saying: the first generation builds it, the second generation enjoys it, and the third generation destroys it. Most wealth in America disappears after 3 generations. If you want to win the forever game, you have to build something bigger than yourself. You have to build a legacy. Legacy is what happens when your money turns into a system that cannot be broken. It is the difference between a flash in the pan and a dynasty. Think about the big names you see on building: Rockefeller, Carnegie, Ford. Those men are long gone. Their bodies are dust, but their names are still powerful. Their money is still moving. Their foundations are still changing the world. How did they do it? Step 1. They built a fortress. They didn't keep their wealth in a checking account where it could be spent or stolen. They put it into trusts and holdings. They created a legal wall around their money so that even their own children couldn't easily waste it. They understood that wealth is a fire. If you don't keep it behind a stone wall, it will burn your whole house down. Step 2. They taught the rules. The truly wealthy don't just leave their kids money. They leave them knowledge. If you give a child a fish, he eats for a day. If you give him $10 million, he loses it in a year. But if you teach him how to use leverage, how to spot asymmetric risk, and how to value ownership, he will be rich forever. Legacy is about passing down the code of power. Step 3. They created an image. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are." The rich understand that their reputation is an asset. If people believe you are powerful, they will treat you as powerful. Opportunities will come to you. People will want to work for you. The wealthy spend a lot of time protecting their name. They know that if their name is worth something, they can always make more money. Now, let's bring it back to you. You are watching this because you want to change your life. But you must ask yourself, what am I building this for? If you just want a Ferrari and a big house to show off on Instagram, you are already losing. That is consumer thinking. You are just a servant who found a big pile of gold. You will eventually give it all back to the masters through taxes, bad deals, and expensive toys. To be a master, you must think in decades, not days. A worker thinks about Friday's paycheck. An owner thinks about the next 5 years. A builder of legacies thinks about the next 100 years. This is the Machiavelli process. It starts with a simple choice. You decide that you are no longer a tool to be used by others. You decide to learn the math of the machine. You stop trading your time, the trap. You start using levers, the weapon. You take smart risks, the gamble. You buy and build equity, the machine. You protect your name, the legacy. It won't be easy. In fact, it will be the hardest thing you ever do. The system will try to pull you back. Your friends might tell you that you are changing or being greedy. But remember, most people are stuck in the cage. When one bird starts to fly away, the other birds get scared. They don't want to admit that they could have flown away too. Don't listen to the birds in the cage. Listen to the ones who are already soaring. The American dream isn't about having a safe job. It is about having the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. The door is open. The map is in your hands. You know about time. You know about leverage. You know about ownership. You have the cheat codes. The only question left is, are you brave enough to stop clicking and start leading? History doesn't remember the people who played it safe. History remembers the bold. Go out there and build your empire.